Well, good morning, everybody. It's Barb Katie here, and we are inching closer and closer to one of the favorite holidays in my family. Some of us have already celebrated some of their favorite holidays, and it is certainly a month full of special celebrations. And many of the celebrations, as we know, not only center around family and friends, but also around food and feasting. And that's what I'd sort of like to talk with you about today. I don't know how you are, but I know for myself, sometimes it seems like I have to uh, regroup almost each and every day that I uh, struggle with some issues as they arise and don't always do things quite as well as I'd like. And um, with that in mind, at the end of the day, when I'm sort of taking stock on how things went, I feel a need to regroup and restart my engines, maybe even refocus. Um, it can be discouraging, I think, and there's a tendency to want to feel like giving up, especially when things seem to be going just in the opposite direction that we'd like them to be proceeding. Uh, and so I was looking through some of the old issues of Tops News, and I love the Tops 10 tips that they often have in there. And I came across this one just focusing on regrouping and how to right your ship, uh, mentally, physically, uh, nutritionally, uh, with activity, all of the various aspects of the journey that we're on, when we lose it. Now, I don't know if you've ever found it, but I found it several times. And I love when I find it because everything just seems to click in place and I am so focused and nothing really impinges on that. And I'm making great progress, feeling really, really wonderful about everything. And then all of a sudden, it's like I wake up one morning and it left. It didn't tell me it was going, it just left. And I'm like, where are you? Why didn't you give me advance notice? What am I going to do now to try to find you? I don't think you have a GPS location that I can log into. I've tried to find you before using my GPS and it did not work out well. So, here's some tips that I think we could use that don't require any real technology. And the first one is to reflect on how far you have already come. Uh, Pull out an old photo or an old journal, or consider, what was I doing and how was I feeling this time last year? Uh, if last year was a particularly productive time for you, there are lessons to be learned there that you can reapply now. Uh, Hopefully, there are lessons learned throughout your journey that you can call upon, because we all know that there are times when we make better progress than at others. And it's those times that um, we can draw from when the going gets tough. And all of us will have those tough times. There will be periods because uh, the healthy weight goal journey is not simple. It's incredibly complex. And one of the things that science now knows is that there is a really great impetus to return to a certain set point weight that your body seems to be most comfortable at despite your best efforts. And it takes, real effort to alter that set point even a little bit. There is a tendency, and many of us know how that is because we've had great success and then we seem to lose our way and we have to repeat and repeat and relearn. And I think that's just the nature of the beast. I think that the learning process and all of the factors involved in it really are more than we at first thought. It is simply not a matter of eating less and moving more. Would that that were true, it would be much simpler for all of us to accomplish, I believe. So anyway, uh, pull out a photo from a time when you were doing well, a journal, some notes that you had, and think about how you felt at that time. That could help you get yourself resituated. Then the other second thing that you can do, I think that is helpful to me, is talk to someone who motivates you. Most of us have a cheerleader in our lives. If we're lucky, we have more than one cheerleader. It might be a friend, a parent, a sibling, a Tops pal. Who is your cheerleader? Who is the person that motivates you to keep on trying? See if you can get in touch with them and just discuss the setback that you had and talk about ways that you may do different or um, modify in some small degree. That person will tell you the truth and certainly will not judge you and it will instead encourage you to find a different path that will be more helpful to you. The third tip that I'd like to share with you, and this is one that's really critically important, is forgive yourself when you have a bad day and move on. Okay, it's one day in your life. How many days have you already lived? Take your age and multiply it by 365. One bad day does not make a life. So forgive yourself if you tripped up. Better yet, learn from it. What lessons can you learn from the struggles that you had yesterday or today? Tomorrow is a brand new day, and it is another chance to do your best and to move forward in the path that you have chosen for yourself. Uh, Another thing I think uh, we sometimes forget to do especially when we're having a rough time, because for a lot of us, when we're having a rough time, we beat ourselves up. We say, "Oh, you can't do it. What's the use?" We heap negatives upon ourselves. Well, instead of doing that, why don't you do something you love? Whatever it is, do something to cheer yourself up, uh, to lift you outside of the frustration you're feeling for not having had the best of all possible days. Um, it could be something really simple, maybe putting on your favorite music to relax by, maybe even taking a few minutes to read a new book. Uh, Maybe just getting outside in the backyard and breathing in the fresh air and just cleansing your head, uh, and taking time to look for the good instead of taking time to find fault with yourself. Uh, the fifth tip is move a little more. Exercise really does help elevate your mood. Uh, Even simply walking outside to the mailbox. Maybe you'll run into the neighbors, you can stand and chat with them for a little bit, or taking a little stroll down the street is helpful because it gets you into a different setting, lets you breathe some fresh air, do some things that you haven't been doing when inside the house, call, calling fault on everything you did not do perfectly and being so hypercritical of yourselves. Number six, and this is absolutely my go-to in almost every situation when I am really down on myself, find something to create laughter within you. Laughter is so powerful. It can elevate a mood in a nanosecond. Maybe you have a favorite comedy on TV, or maybe you could head out to a movie that's playing that your friends have shared is really quite funny and entertaining. Um, and maybe it's a run. I am a fan of the Golden Girls, and those always lift my mood. Uh, Sophia is my hero, and I cannot watch Girls and stay in a bad mood. Um, so that's a go-to for me when I'm a little bit grouchy. Also, talking to my next door neighbor's kids is a great way for me to get out of myself. They are so funny and they're so innocent and they are so honest. And it gets me outside too, because we usually go for a little walk up and down the street when I talk with them. And I learn so many things from these little kids. And I have to laugh to myself thinking about the journey that they are now on, that is starting for the rest of their lives. So find something to bring laughter to your heart. Number 7, uh, pause to think about all you have accomplished. You're not a one-dimensional person. You have many different aspects of yourself. And on some days, you're really triumphant, and on other days, not so much. And they change from time to time. You may be struggling in one area of your life and succeeding in others. So take some time to reflect on the things that are going really well for you and why that might be, and see if there's an application you can make to things that you're struggling with at the present moment. Um, Even looking at your particular focus, if it happens to be on living your healthiest and most active life, um, look and see how far you've come and how many lessons you have learned. One of the biggest lessons I have learned in my journey is that I cannot do everything perfectly every single day, but I can give most things a really good shot and I will make progress. It's sort of the 80-20 rule. You know, if I do 80% of the things that I could be doing to enhance my journey and occasionally have a slip up, I'm still going to show progress. I don't have to be perfect. And giving yourself permission to not have to be perfect is huge when you're trying to regroup. Um, the 8th tip I'd share with you is to put things in perspective and to reach out and help somebody else. Uh, Extend your reach and your thought process beyond you and what's going on with you. There's a whole world out there of people who need some help and encouragement. Uh, it could be many different things. Maybe one of the things you can do is volunteer during this season of great need for people who will volunteer time and service. Maybe you can go down to one of your local soup kitchens and volunteer. You don't necessarily have to volunteer for food service. You may be able to volunteer as a dishwasher. You might be able to do some food prep for the organization. There's so many different ways we can lend a hand that takes us out of ourselves and focuses on others for a while. And that can help us gain a better perspective of exactly what our struggles are. I know compared to some people I've met in from different walks and circumstances, I am blessed beyond measure. And I need to always appreciate my blessings and try to share what I can, where I can, with who I can, as often as I can. Number 9 for me would be to return to what inspires me. I am a great reader, you probably know, of quotes of all kinds. I love songs that have meaningful lyrics. I even like poems that share profound thought as well. And I revisit them often in moments when I'm straying from the course I have chosen for myself. I find that is a way of writing my thinking in a very positive way. One of my favorite ones to paraphrase is one from Eleanor Roosevelt, where she said, words to the effect, no one can give you a bad time without your permission. And that's true. And that, when somebody gets on my case really, really bad, and I'm beginning to really get down on myself because of it, I think, hey, wait a minute, who are you to beat me up like this? What have I done to you? You're not being helpful to me. So I'm just going to move on from this. I don't need it in my life. And having those inspirational quotes and messages, and songs even. One of them I like that is a fairly contemporary song is This Is My Fight song, because that reminds me I've got to get back up. I've got to dust myself off. I've got to keep trying. As long as I'm trying and I'm not quitting, hope is there. And I believe that if I keep a positive attitude, I will get to where I hope to go. The last one is to try to imagine my life if I hit whatever target it is. How will my life change? How will the changes I am making benefit me and my family and my friends? It's not just what's in it for me, because I'll tell you right now that a number on a scale does not make all of the challenges we face in life disappear. And if that's what we're thinking, we're going to be sorely disappointed when we get there. It improves one aspect of our life and the way we feel about many other aspects. And even our physicality, it improves, but it doesn't solve everything. So, to spend some time reflecting on how I see my life in the future. What are the major benefits that this course of action is going to take to me? And with that, I think if I can remember these 10 tips to help me get regrouped when I have a setback, and during the holidays, I don't know how you are, but I will have more than one probably, and I can't let it throw me. One slip up does not ruin a day. And it's just one slip up. So you just get right back on the horse and you keep on until you can stay on. And you keep a positive attitude about it, like, oh, I forgot to press my knees close. I didn't hold the reins right. I wasn't sitting in the saddle right. Didn't have my feet in the stirrups. Lessons to be learned as we go along the road. No need to gallop to the finish line. We can go at a slow trot. Absolutely no reason to force things until we're ready to handle everything that is involved in the changes we're making. So don't let the holidays throw you. And if they do, just pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and get ready to ride again. It's a good journey. It's worth every effort we make. And I'm going to get off here for right now with yeehaw, and hope you all have a super fantastic day. Talk to you later now. Bye-bye.